Hey, 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 Pajama Grandma, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to this hopefully short little Facebook Live. I was having a coaching meeting last night with a team, and we were going through the shortcut version to creating their webinar. And that led to the discussion of their offer, which is a lot more complex than what I want to talk about today. But they were frustrated a little bit that we weren't just jumping right in and building the sales process or the funnel for them, that we had to do some preliminary work first. So that got me to thinking about how many people don't understand and don't clarify with the people we're working with that you can't just jump right in to building a funnel and expect it to be successful, which may explain why, 95% of all the funnels that are started, almost probably closer to 100%, fail to get off the ground. They don't work right in the first place. Just like most businesses aren't a success and fail, it's kind of some of the same reasons that I saw last night working with this team in terms of wanting to jump in before you've got your preliminary groundwork and your foundation built. So I want to tell you the 5 steps to actually make sure you do before you build your foundation, or actually to build your foundation, to ensure that you're building your business on a firm ground. So I just wanted to do this little online free workshop, and I'm going to just go over as an overview of the 5 steps. And if we want to go in more in depth, I'm going to let you tell me in the comments below, and I'll actually turn this into 5 different detailed Facebook Live videos or little workshop videos then. But I just want to go through the shortcut process to really successfully getting whatever it is you need for your particular business. And each of our businesses are unique and different. And so what we need and want for them will be a little bit different, but let's be honest. Every business out there exists to serve customers. And that means we all want customers. We either want more of them, we want to take better care of them, we want to build a better relationship with them, or we want them coming to see us more often and spending more money. So if you're in business, it usually boils down to, I need more customers, I need more money, I want more profitability. And there's systems and things you can put in place to ensure and encourage all those. But if you don't have the very foundation of your business set up right, if you don't have the reason that you exist in the first place and who you want to serve right, all of your other efforts are dissipated and wasted. So I want to begin by talking about what is it that you want? What does success look like for you and your business? And, we could go into a whole thing of goal setting, but that's not really the intent of the question. My question is, what is it that you want? Why do you want to create? Why do you have a sales process? Why do you exist? What are you here to provide to the world? Now, it might just be a product or service. For example, I, for 35 years, ran an Italian food manufacturing business, and it was mostly product-based. And I did a lot of work over the years to try to make that an offer, and I didn't even know about offers, but try to expand on what I was providing so that people didn't look at my handmade ravioli as a commodity and try to always get me to compete on price. So basically, I was just selling a product. And when you're just selling a product, business is really, really hard because everybody tries to, get you down, and they try to compare you to everybody else and make you a commodity. Now, I had to argue with the ex-husband that my product wasn't a commodity. And so if you have to argue with somebody that close to the situation, just think of everybody else in the whole wide world that doesn't really understand your product or service. So I was in business to, make money and provide a living for my family, which meant I needed to sell more Italian food, which meant I had to make more Italian food, which I had to find customers that wanted to buy my Italian food. Now, we were both a business to business and a business to consumer organization. We were mostly business to business. We sold 100% to other businesses. So I have to backtrack on myself. I don't even remember my own business. So we sold to restaurants and we sold to grocery store chains. And then they sold directly to the consumer. So it can be a little bit different, but either way, a customer is a customer, and you have to know what it is that you want and what it is that you're providing to them. So we were providing, in this example, handmade Italian food. In this case, the world's best handmade ravioli. I can say that with 100% confidence. I still get people messaging me every single day about D'Abruzzi ravioli and when is it coming back. And I haven't announced it yet, but I won't be making it anymore. It'll exist somehow, some way, but it won't be me in charge of making sure that it exists in the world. It's time for me to move on to something else. So number one, the first step in anything is, what do I want? Do I want more sales? Do I want more customers? Do I want to attract customers on autopilot? And I'm going to say there isn't a business on this planet that should not be attracting customers on autopilot. I don't care what your business is. I don't care who you're selling to. If you're selling to human beings, and that means like B2B, business to business, I'm still selling to human beings. I was still selling my products to, I'm going to take that off there. It's annoying watching my chin talk. I was selling to the purchasing manager or whatever their, different titles were in their organization in the retail grocery stores, or to this, sometimes it was the store manager if it was a smaller store. It depends, but I was selling to another human being. And so business to business or business to consumer, if you've got a product that you're selling to a human being, you need or want and should be desiring to attract more customers and have them coming to you. So I'm not sure what your particular number one want is or desire, but if you want to put it in the comment box, that would be awesome. I want to see if anybody's thinking of anything besides, attracting customers or having more customers. I can't think of a business that doesn't need more customers in order to be successful. If you can think of one, type it in the comments and I will see if I agree or disagree. It doesn't even matter, does it? Hey, Ross, how are you? Good to see you. I'm lecturing from a group that I met with last night that didn't understand the basics of an offer and getting started the right way. So step one is decide what you want. And I'm going to say, if you don't know what you want, always say, I want more customers and I want to find those customers on autopilot, because that means I've got my best salesperson out working 24/7 so that I don't have to. And we can do that by automating the process and creating an online presence. And that's what I want to talk about today. But before we jump in and we create a sales process or a website or an online sales process, also known as a funnel, we have to know what it is and why we're creating it. So we have to know why we're in business. And, sometimes we get in business by default and we don't really know why we started a business or got involved in it. I know that I got involved in the Italian food business because my sister got involved in the Italian food business. And the real story is my partner in a liquor business was having a hard time, and he and his wife were tired of running it and they wanted somebody else to do it. And my sister needed something to do. So we decided to buy the Italian food business and then learn all about that industry and about HACCP and everything that's associated with manufacturing food. Over, several decades. And we didn't pick that because we were passionate about Italian food. I mean, people always ask us if we're Italian, and I'm like, yeah, we're German, French, and Norwegian. There's no Italian in us. So it really seemed kind of funny that we're so, knee deep into Italian food. But so I understand when you say, I don't really know why I started my business. I don't know. I'm not really passionate about it, but it doesn't matter because we all want more customers. I guess that was a really roundabout way of saying we all want more customers. I always wanted more customers, even though I didn't want more customers, because we had the make a little, sell a little manufacturing philosophy, which I will say as a manufacturing philosophy, if you want to supersize your business, don't ever adopt that as a manufacturing philosophy, because you make really bad choices with respect to scaling. And it makes scaling really difficult because you've always had this batch type mentality, and batch type mentality doesn't flow naturally into increasing your sales and really blowing up your business. So the first thing we need to do is decide, well, what is it that I want and how am I going to measure success? So let's say for this example, we want more customers and we'll measure success by, X% more customers per month or per week or per day, whatever works for you. So then step one becomes, I guess step one was, what do you want? I'm behind myself. So you decide what you want. Let's just say for this example that it's, I want more customers. So then step two is pretty simple. If you're already in business, what you want to do is, who's your best customer? I can tell you exactly who my best customer was in the Italian food business. Her name is Kim. Kim was by far, even though she wasn't the customer that represented the most sales for my business, she was definitely my best customer. So if I were doing that for this business now, if I were analyzing that and trying to figure out who is my ideal customer and my best customer and the customer I want to have a whole bunch more just like, it would be Kim. And so I would describe everything about Kim. She's a smart businesswoman, hardworking. She actually runs a liquor store, and the liquor store happens to be the liquor store that I owned originally, and we sold it to her a long time ago. When we needed to move into a bigger manufacturing facility, we sold the liquor store to her, but she kept the Italian food in it because we used to have our USDA kitchen in the little liquor store back. And long story, way too much information. But she was by far my ideal customer. She was the place that whenever I had an idea that I wanted to try a new flavor or a new variety of ravioli or Italian food, I could make a batch of it and then we would sell it through her store. So if I'm thinking about who my ideal customer is, it would be Kim, and then I would describe her. Now, if you aren't in business yet, you still can do this exercise. You need to think about who is the person, and you just need to pick one person that would be the person you would most like to work with. Who's the person that would be ideally, if you could work with, if you could have 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 1,000,000 of this ideal person, what characteristics, what attributes would this person have? And then describe them. But you got to know what those are, because the next step of the process involves step 3 is all about, what does my ideal customer want the most? What's the most important thing to my ideal customer? You know, what Kim wants from DeBruzzi Italian Foods was very different than what, who's one of my least favorite customers, Steve wanted from DeBruzzi Italian Foods. I actually had to fire Steve, and he was my biggest grocery store chain of customers. Big, long story, but sometimes when you're dealing with the wrong customers, it makes your life way, way more miserable than not having enough customers. I'd much rather have not enough customers and struggle for sales to find more customers than have people that suck to work with, or that aren't good to your employees, or that don't respect or honor your business. It's not any fun. So knowing who your ideal customer is, once you know who they are, you can identify exactly what is it that they want from your business, from your organization. So what Kim wanted from my organization with respect to the Italian food example was, she wanted to have another profit center for her particular business. She wanted something else that she could offer to her customers that were coming in already to get liquor, beer, wine. What else? Oh, liquor. What else do they sell in liquor stores? Beer, wine, and liquor. So she wanted a couple of other things to have people. She has a freestanding liquor store. So she needed something else that would bring people into her business besides just liquor, because people are busy. They don't want to stop 5 or 6 places and only get one thing at each place. So by being able to offer a variety of Italian food and specialty items, that way people could pick up dinner along with their beer or wine. That way they could, and she actually started selling bait too. So it might seem strange, but her liquor store is located right by a really good fishing spot. So she actually had bait. Her big 3 things were, you know, liquor, wine, and beer, bait, and then Italian food. So she wanted from me another profit center for her business, and then a variety. She liked to be the test place, because people knew that if we were experimenting or trying something out, that they could go up to her place and they could find that. She was the only person I did that through. She had kind of the exclusive license that we did that through. So people actually came to her store looking for whatever we happened to be up to that was new and creative and different. We did some really fun things. We made pizza ravioli, which was still the best thing. I should sell that recipe, because somebody should be making pizza ravioli, because kids loved it. I loved it, and I'm not even a huge pizza eater. So what does your ideal customer want most from you right now? Your ideal customer, whatever it is that they want, you need to identify that and think about it. What kind of a transformation are they coming to you for? Why are they coming to you to buy the product that you're offering them? What's in it for them to come and get that product specifically from you? Now, this is really a little bit difficult in like a network marketing company. You have to really be selling yourself as much as a leader, as much as the product and service that your company is providing, because everybody's got the same product and service. Everybody's got, so you have to make and differentiate yourself with service, because everybody's got the same product. Everybody's got the same pricing. And so it's even more important that you find a way to stand out and create an offer around what you're providing with your ideal customer. But the only way you can decide what that's going to be is knowing what they want. You have to know what they want the most so that you can give it to them. So Kim wanted more variety and more options, and to be the exclusive handler of the different things that we created as an Italian food business. That leads us to the next step in the process. And these are all kind of preliminary steps, right? Now I know that my ideal customer wants something cool. I guess we're to step 4. I'm not keeping very good track of my steps. So step 4, I actually mapped this out on a piece of cardboard. So what does that tell you? But that's how I do things. I thought about this morning. I'm like, I got to do a workshop on this, because people are spinning their wheels because they're not doing this preliminary stuff right. If you don't do this preliminary stuff, if you don't think about these things and map these things out, all of your other efforts, and there's a lot of them. I mean, my first webinar, I spent like 8 months building that sucker, and I didn't do this. I didn't really understand my ideal customer. I didn't really understand my offer and how that differentiated, because I didn't create that with my ideal customer in mind. I created based on what I thought they would want. And guess what? That sucker flopped so bad it's not even funny. It was actually a product, an incredible product. It's an awesome offer and package for people, but they don't know about it or care about it because they didn't create it with me. And I created what I, as a restaurant and bar owner, would have loved somebody to give me in my last restaurant and bar, but it wasn't available. But I just made that based on what I would have loved and liked. Well, that's not necessarily what current restaurant and bar owners want for their business. And so by creating that by myself, sort of in a vacuum, I mean, I did some ask campaigns and I asked people what they wanted, but for the most part, I just came up with the offer and the package I thought they would love and the bonuses I thought they would love, because I would have loved them had they been available for me. But it turns out they're not what they wanted at all. And so now I'm in the process of redoing that and tweaking that, going back to the drawing board and starting over and creating these things and understanding these things from scratch. So I'm trying to shortcut the process for you so that you don't have to learn the hard way. You can learn the easy way. So the next step then is, after I know what they want the most, I have to figure out a creative way to give them a taste of that, some bait. Just like Kim has bait in her liquor store that is going to, the fishermen are coming to use, ice fishermen mostly, but she's on the river, so they come and they fish. We have terrible fish in that river. I can't believe people eat fish out of that river. But aside, she has bait that, and she sells different kinds of bait, because every type of fish does not bite on the same type of bait. So she's got probably 7 or 8 different kinds of bait at her liquor store. I know, weird, right? Liquor store bait and Italian food, very strange. But you want to make sure that the bait you're offering is specific to your ideal customer. Now, you can throw bait out there that a lot of people are going to like, but if they're not the type of people that you want as your customer, you can be miserable. So you want to pick something that you can use as a lead magnet, or bait, it's called. So if my ideal customer wanted, and I don't want to use the Italian food example because that's not a good example for this, because it was B2B and I wasn't looking for more customers. But let's think about, let's use Ross's MLM, because I know Ross is doing an MLM. Let's use that as an example. And I want to say Isogenics, but I could be wrong. Ross, is that what you're using, or the company that you're representing? I don't know. Anyway, so Ross, or whatever company, let's say you're doing an MLM company, what you need to think about is your ideal customer as, are they already in an MLM? If they're already in an MLM, what do they want? They probably want more leads, right? and they don't want to have to go talk to their friends and family. They don't want to bug a bunch of people. They don't want to have to go out cold calling or cold prospecting or talking to strangers on social media or harassing people. They want their ideal customer to come to them. So what you want to do is find a bait. And if I were in this particular business that I'm in, my bait would be I would offer them a free lead capturing menu or menu funnel so that they could capture names and emails or just email contact information of people that were interested in starting their own business or joining your specific MLM based on, you know, the characteristics and the criteria of the ideal customer that you want to attract. So maybe you create a special report and give them a free funnel. I give them a free funnel. I'm giving everybody a free funnel these days for my restaurant and bar customers. What I'm doing with them now is I'm actually just giving everybody a free, incredible, super awesome share funnel. And then if they want, they can work with us further and they can get the masterclass and they can learn how to use that funnel to its fullest. But otherwise, anybody that wants and contacts me can get a copy of my share funnel for the restaurant industry. And if they can figure out how to use it themselves, more power to them. But if they want us to help them, then we'll help them. So I'm giving away a lot of free funnels, and it's pretty easy to do a share funnel that's just a lead magnet or an opt-in. So Ross could do that really, really simply. You just create a little lead magnet with a special report that they could customize for themselves. And now they can duplicate your recruiting system with all of the benefits of doing it on autopilot and none of the, you know, negatives and stress and worry and the hard part of actually recruiting for a network marketing company. So that would be an example of that. And then step 5 of the process is actually to get ClickFunnels if you don't have it already, because ClickFunnels is like the tool for automating these sales processes now. Now, I didn't know about ClickFunnels until just about a year ago now. It's just about a year ago. And when I heard about it, I jumped in with both feet because I had sold my Italian food manufacturing business and I needed something to do, to be honest. I was driving the kids crazy because I was getting restless around the house. And I'm like, you can only, you know, be around the house so much. I used to work a lot. And so to have me around the house and like fidgeting and looking for something to do, I jumped into ClickFunnels with both feet and I became a certified partner because number one, I'm an engineer, but I'm not super technical. So I knew if I didn't jump into some kind of a systematized, really in-depth training, I wasn't going to get it. I wasn't going to understand it. And the certified partner program offers an awesome amount of detail about how to use the product technologically. But the best part is all the part that it goes into with respect to strategy and marketing and, you know, value ladders and all the things that I wouldn't have figured. I know, but from being in business, but that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of with respect to sales process and funnels, because really funnels are just an automated sales process. So from the team last night, it was hard on them, but we did this same thing. We sat down and we said, okay, what do you want to sell? They know basically what they want to sell. They've got an incredible business idea that they're really excited about, and I'm excited for them. We got a name and we got a domain last night. I'm like, that's all we're doing is we're coming up with a name for it and the domain. But that's the only part of the funnel that I would let us touch or do yesterday because we weren't ready yet. We didn't have an offer. We didn't know exactly, you know, what sales message is going to speak to their ideal client. So we had to sit down and brainstorm for, geez, I think we spent at least an hour just brainstorming the ideal client. Then we had to talk about, well, who's going to be the attractive character that represents your brand and your product, because depending on who it wanted to be would depend on the stories that we will sell to, because you need stories and to break beliefs that people have in order to get them to even see or think about and consider your offer. So we had to do that. But the first thing we did was we came up with, okay, who's our attractive character and what stories are we going to tell this ideal customer once we came up with our ideal customer profile. And it was really actually fun coming up with our ideal customer profile because it's a brand new business. It is a new opportunity. It doesn't exist right now. So they get to decide who they want their ideal customer to be. And I think that's almost more fun than if you've been in business for a while and you already know, okay, well, this is my best customer and I want more just like her. Now, I will admit I had some customers that I didn't like, even that weren't my best customers. They might have represented the most sales for my company, but they weren't my best customer because they would be, you know, more work and more demanding and not so fun to work with as Kim was. But if I'm creating a whole new organization, I want to have a whole bunch of Kims that I'm working with. And you get to do the same thing. So then you would go ahead and your next step, if you don't have ClickFunnels already, would be, of course, to get ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels you can get for a 14-day free trial. This is just my link here if you're interested and don't have ClickFunnels already. But a 14-day free trial is plenty easy to go ahead and, my daughter's calling me, of course, in the middle of a Facebook Live. You can get the 14-day free trial. And if you have any questions or more questions, I'm going to go ahead and hide. Oh, I wanted to hide that ClickFunnels link. You can reach me and ask me questions directly on my Pajama Grandma page, because I'm a pajama grandma in my pajamas still. And it's just my Facebook page. We've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group. It's just facebook.com/pajamagrandma. Grandma is GRAMMA. And you can always reach me there just by leaving me a message or sending me a direct message and asking your question. And I guess my biggest question for you is this valuable? Is this helpful? Would you like me to make now the next step in the process, how to create your lead magnet funnel and how to do that online? Because I can do a quick walkthrough how to do that, because we want to keep it simple. You want to keep it simple but effective. And then I could do even some more advanced trainings on that with respect to some really cool things that we're doing for our small business owners. And for like this team creating the new products, we could go into even more in-depth things about webinar funnels, because I'm actually getting pretty good at those babies. It's taken me the better part of a year, but I don't have any problem building the technological part of the funnel, but it's this messaging part, which is the critical part and the most important. And it's not ever going to be right the first time, but that's the beauty of funnels. And with ClickFunnels, it's just so easy to go ahead and change these things that it doesn't matter. You just do the work, get it out there, see what works. And then if you're not getting any attention or anybody to see your message, then we change and tweak the message. It's really, really simple. So that is it for today. I think I've talked enough, and I'm sure I better call my daughter back. I sent her to Goodwill with 7 bags of things. I set a goal today that I would start decluttering and getting my house done, because I need to move. Got divorced a while ago, and it's time for me to get out of this house and move on to something different. So go out, make it an awesome day. Thanks for listening, and I will see you very soon. Pajama Grandma out. Bye.